I will now say just a couple of closing words from my part. First of all, I want to thank all participants, especially the speakers, for the today useful and interesting information. Nevertheless, all the participants and the ones who wanted to question things and who promoted an interesting talk and an interesting exchange of ideas today. Nevertheless, I want to thank my colleague, Professor Butenweg, for helping me chairing this session, Professor Rita Bento for organizing the entire webinar, Elaine Gregorio for assisting in, and not the least, Hugo O'Neill for the technical assistance, because without such a thing, nothing would work. Thanks again, and just a couple of words regarding what happens in the future, namely, the today webinar was only the second one. The first one on part 1.1 was in March this year. So we are still expecting 4 interesting webinars. The webinar 1.2 on rules for new buildings, webinar 2 on bridges, webinar 3 on assessment and retrofitting of buildings and bridges, and webinar 4 on silos, tanks, pipelines, tower masts, and chimneys. Actually, this order here is not imposed. All, let's say, new information you will find and you may check on our website, ec8webinars.org. And I believe the next one, but this is something specifically Professor Bento may tell you more about it, will be at the end of this year or at the beginning of the next year. Thanks again.
Thank you all. I think Dietlinde mentioned everything about the thanks to everyone that should be mentioned here. I believe that the next one will be in the beginning of this next year, but all the information will be updated in the website, as well as all the material from this webinar. Professor Kapos would like to add some words.
Yes, thank you, Rita. 2 quick and interrelated things. First of all, let me speak on behalf of the audience now. Thank you very much, the organizing committee, but of course, most of all, our speakers of today for a very interesting webinar. The effort is really appreciated from all of you. Second is just a practical thing. If I haven't missed something, we were expecting something like 250 enrolled participants. The maximum that we had, because I was continuously monitoring, was 93 when George was talking, George Gazeta. So it means that the system of monitoring the attendees does not really work as we expected. It is clear that we have counted people that have supposedly enrolled for the entire series of webinars, but they obviously have not attended today. So my simple suggestion is, it is feasible now that the academic year is over and it is summer, to send a message to everybody who has enrolled, tell them that the enrollment is not valid anymore, and for the webinars to come, starting from autumn, hopefully, or perhaps the end of the year, they should enroll again so that we have a good idea. And most importantly, that we do not perhaps deny access when we, for example, have more than 300 participants, and then we tell the ones that want to enroll, no, we are fully booked, we have 300. Although we don't really expect 300 for the specific webinars. So this is a practical suggestion. I hope it will be considered. And once again, I would like to thank very much all of you for your huge efforts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the recommendation, but exactly is how it works. So whenever we have a new webinar, the registration will start from the beginning. So basically what's happened is that the people registered, but then they did not attend. How it works. It worked exactly the same for the first webinar. So thank you all again. It was really a pleasure to be here, to organize together with everyone, the shares, the working group, and Alain and Hugo, this webinar. Thank you and see you soon. Bye-bye.